Don Farrell, the Labor power broker, obviously not from your state, but still, as you well know, Don Farrell is very influential within the broader Labor Party. He was adamant when he spoke to Andrew Clennell on Sunday that Kimberley's pre-selection was not going to be denied. What do you say to that?
I love the Don, as we call him. He's the voice of old-time social democratic Labor in the Labor Party these days. But Diana Asmar and Earl Setchers were in the room with those three Lilliputians, and as I call them, and Diane told poor Kimberley on the day she died. I was with her at lunchtime having lunch with the China experts that Kimberley regularly convened, that she was going to lose her pre-selection. Now, I don't know whether it would have actually come to that. I hope Don is right. But the point is it played on her mind. No rational person blames either the Victorian group of Lilliputians for her death, or the power group in Canberra that excludes or includes people or not. But it certainly increased her stress. No one appointed Kristina Keneally as a head of a star chamber to investigate whether Kimberley, had said things that from the tactics committee or not. I mean, Penny Wong is a lawyer. She knows natural justice. There ought to be and have been an impartial way that these people could have examined what the controversy between
the suggestion
Kitching and Reynolds.
Kitching,
it should have been examined by an impartial person.
But the suggestion
not by a star chamber.
She had provided a heads up to a government minister, and you've been around politics for a long time. If that was the view of the leadership, do you see why they might have pushed the senator to one side?
No, I don't, because they were very self-interested. Kimberley was the doyen of government accountability at those Senate estimates. She was feared across every federal bureaucracy, quite rightly. And the person who took her place was investigating and made a judgment about her. How crook is that? Absolutely crook. People in politics, people in the Australian community expect us to be consistent. They expect us to apply the same law to our own people as we apply to other people. We should be concerned with Grace Tame and Brittany Higgins, but we should equally have looked after our sister Kimberly Kitching too.
And I know it's obviously a difficult time for you because you were so close to her. But as you said, I think in your first answer, and as I know personally, and many in this parliament know, Kimberly Kitching was a forceful person and very robust politician in terms of her strongly held views. That's a fair assessment, isn't it, in terms of her own, what she brought to this parliament?
Absolutely, Kieran.
Very robust individual as well.
She represented the Hawke Beazley view in international affairs. The Victorian right's long been associated with a more pro-American hawkish view on it, and the Australian public loved that view, and they needed Kimberley out there as a spear carrier for those views in the Labor Party. And let's get to the bottom of this, whether it's over the puppeteer or whether it's over the Uyghur issue or whether it's over Magnitsky, there were real differences in policy over China. And I think Kimberley's views were much more in the political mainstream. 80% of Australians are doubtful about China, according to the Lowy poll, and she was a fighter for those views, and she ought not to have been treated so cruelly. My point is, of course there are robust criticisms, of course people can do these kind of things, but don't hang someone's pre-selection over their head for a year, and not pass on complaints because you're the beneficiary and your mates are the beneficiaries of Victorian pre-selections in the meantime. Not fair, Kieran, and the behaviour of ostracisation and marginalisation, particularly if there had been an apology, if there was indeed an apology as family, friends and her colleagues and staff never heard about, then wouldn't you have treated her with more kindness, realised I'd gone too far with this terribly creepy remark and perhaps we ought to sort of put her back on the tactics committee and give her a few questions at question time, or not leave her on the graveyard shift every night in the Senate. Just a bit of collegiality, a bit of professionalism would have, addressed this issue in an equitable way. Which I think there were 1,800 people at Mass at St Patrick's yesterday. Kimberley had so many supporters right across Australia, humble health workers, Uyghurs, Tibetans. I mean, these all were people who were looking for her support.
Michael, just finally before you go, so we've got a good sense of what you believe should happen in terms of moving forward as for your party. Do you think also that the party needs to look at the pre-selection as well in terms of someone from the same faction as Kimberley Kitching to ensure things remain smooth in that sense?
Frankly, I don't care, Kieran. I don't think the family does either. No one can replace her. She was very, very unusual. A powerful woman who had a big political power here in Victoria, who was so cosmopolitan. I saw her debating with the French foreign minister in fluent French. What pride that would give other Australians, There's no replacement for her. Best days were coming, especially in these dangerous times with China. There isn't a person who was more acute on these issues. The passage of those Magnitsky laws in the first 6 years of her Senate being a senator, just as evidence of the policy smarts of this person. She's,
Michael,
I'm sorry to say it, irreplaceable and a great loss for Australia.
Michael Danby, on a tough day, obviously still difficult for you as a close friend of Senator Kitching. I appreciate you making the time for us and our viewers today.
Thanks, Kieran. I had a mad race in through Lakeside Drive, I can tell you.